Okay, so I wanted to break down the Cyberpunk track. This is a kind of like energetic Cyberpunk track, very bass heavy. I'm gonna play through the whole thing and I'll just break down all the different sounds and all of the my sound selection as well as the sound design. Let's play through it. Yeah. Um yeah, it's a fun, like bass heavy, energetic Cyberpunk electronic track. Um but yeah, this one was fun to make. Um Let me start with the bass. Let's start with the bass. First started with this sound. Yeah, the this is a bass from Nest Acoustics Serum preset pack. This he recently made one for on Splice, and I grabbed all of those because he's a very good sound designer and has like a lot of good sounds um, that he created. But yeah, this is one of his basses. Um, if you notice, it starts playing with the sidechain right here, which yeah, that is from this right here. This is the solid bus comp from Native Instruments. I believe you get it in the regular version of their um, complete 15, or any of the completes, complete 13, 14. But yeah, it's right here from Native Instruments. And this is kind of like the main compressor I use for side chaining. If I ever just need side chain, I'll just use this one. But yeah, and then I'll just set the ratio high, release low, attack low, and then just set the side chain to whatever the kick is, and then um, yeah. But yeah, so that's where my side chain is. Here's the side chain with the kick. But yeah, there's the side chain, and then I added this sub um, just to give it more weight, so that the intro can feel I don't know. It starts without the sub, and then once it gets into the side chain, and once you're getting into like the vibe of it, the sub comes in. Um, so here's the sub, and this is from a splice pack. Um, that was for future based stuff, or yeah, sorry, not future based, future pop stuff. Honestly, if you like look up this name, you'll probably find it. But yeah, I love this one a lot, the sub, because it has a lot of good macros that are very versatile. Um, the like with distortion, raising the lows of the sub, the mod basically like changes its I think like tonality and texture of it is very nice. And then you can also add noise. But yeah, it's very, very good. And then with the bass and the kick. Yeah, it just gives it that depth and just it gives it that fullness. Then on the main drop, here are all the basses together. Very, very tough. What the basses have is I have a shaper box sidechain for the whole thing, just so that they can sound a little bit cleaner. In addition with the solid bus comp sidechain, but yeah, it just, you know, this one's a little more versatile because I can actually like shape the way I want it. But yeah, and then let me here, I'll turn off all of the effects so you can hear them one by one. Here's without. And then this shaper box one. Just makes it sound a little cleaner. And then DST I used to raise the mid highs, and then a little bit of the low mids and the highs. Kept the lows basically the same. It gave it more of that grittiness and like almost that like razor sound in the mids, in the mid lows. So that sounds pretty good. And then with R bass, almost bringing back the lows. But R bass always makes like R bass is so really good at making bass stacks sound full and just sound like well polished. So I always use them for my bass groups. But here's without. It just makes them sound very, very full. And then I put focus one, which I usually put on like lead stacks and chord stacks and things like that, arps, and not usually basses, but I kind of wanted a little bit more of the mids and the mid highs, because this track is kind of like the basses are the main thing, so I kind of wanted them to take up more frequencies than they would usually do. So I put some focus on it from focus one, which that basically raises the mids and the mid highs in like a multi-band compressor type of way, like an OTT type of way. But I kind of raised it just a little bit. So then finally there's a Simplon, which basically is being automated right here, as you can see. So it goes like this. And it is basically taking out the lows. There's another automation on each of them that is their actual lows, or their actual highs that are like this and kind of raising. And the only reason that's not on the main one is because I'm pretty sure I made a few of them different. So I just wanted them on each one just so I can have more versatility. And also these two ones don't have that automation, and I wanted the highs in there, so I didn't put it on the whole group, but just individual ones that I wanted it on. But yeah, now let me talk about the other basses that are there. So over here, there's this bass. and you can tell, or you can hear, this one's chugging along. It's not just sustained notes. It's like I forgot what the word is. Arped notes. So those ones are nice. A good layer. Then there's this one. This is the main layer that brings like that power in the mids, in the mid highs, in the mid lows. This one is from Rios, which he has 2 serum presets that, or preset packs that sound just so good. They have so many good sounds. But this was the Nitros one of my favorites from his, and he yeah, I mean he just has a bunch of good sounds for anything EDM and electronic, and even some like cinematic stuff. But yeah, so that was that sound. Then there's over here a Reese pad. Which is this is from the same pack from that sub, the sub layer, and I just once again the macros are just very very good. But I have some distortion on it, and then there's also this macro that says add layer, which basically adds the octave up, which if I look, yeah, it's raising the volume of this one right here. And you can see that this one is -2 octaves, this one's -1. So this one is an octave up. So adding that layer is adding this octave up from the main one that's being played, which is cool. But yeah, that layer sounds good. Then we have this one, which sounds... That one gives it that analog texture. Very, very strong. It's called analog. It's called analog tech. Is that what it says? Yeah. But it's very yeah, it's very analog. And it's just powerful. So that's a good layer. And then finally we have this one, which I believe this was, yeah, this is the guitar. Let me open up Contact 8. This is the Double Doom guitar from Evolution Atlantica, which is part of the Evolution series from Keep Forest. They're the ones that made all of the Evolution Devastator plugins, which I love. All of them are just, they have so many amazing cinematic sounds, and just anything cinematic or trailer. They have extremely good sounds for that. But yeah, the Evolution Atlantica, which is one of their older plugins, has honestly solid guitar sounds. So I liked honestly very, very solid. But yeah, that's the whole bass stack, I believe. Yeah. Let me go now to I guess the drums. Yeah, let's do the drums. So we started with this kick, and I started it filtered out, just filtered here, just so it can kind of layer well with the basses. But then over here, it goes to its full sound with all the frequencies. Oh, and let me show the I'll show this. It's just keeping the lows, and then later on it gets the everything like that. Very punchy. And on that I put here, I'll turn these two off. That's how it sounds normal. And then I have Diablo Light on it, which is a Cymatics plugin. This one is free. It's a light version. I just gave it some clip, which which makes it sound a little bit harder, more compressed, just a little bit. And then I put DST, which I don't usually put DST, but I wanted to bring more of the lows out just so I could, yeah, so it can have more body. Here, I'll show you the difference. I'll play and then I'll randomly turn it on. You can hear the lows like are a little bit more full. Usually when I'm doing that though, I would usually just put an EQ, and actually like raise the lows there. But I just wanted to use DST that time because DST also adds a saturation, or I mean, it's distortion. So I put that kind of low, but it's still there, and I put type 2. But yeah, so that's the kick. Then there's these hats, these housey hats, which oh, also the kick is from Oversampled, his Ultimate Future Bass pack. They have a lot of good sounds, especially their drums. But yeah, and then this house hi-hat is from a Kashmir pack, Kashmir Volume 4. Once again, just good sounds of Kashmir Volume 4. And then a clap. So all of them together. And clap's only used for the intro, but it still sounds good. And that one's from the Dave Parkinson, their progressive essentials, basically progressive house genre. But yeah, once again, another pack that just has really good sounds. And another one from Dave Parkinson, but his trance essentials pack. That top loop hat loop. Very solid sounds. And then over here, the clap goes away, but then there's a snare, which is once again from Dave Parkinson pack. And then also a ride loop from Kashmir, a ride loop from Dave Parkinson Trance pack, and then another one from that same pack, hat loop. Yeah, and then also I added this secondary snare just for effect. It pans left and right. So that's the right and then the left. And like all of those drums together sound like this. Very nice sounding. And then next I should go to maybe let's go to more instruments. I have this, which this one is a pad, one of my favorite pads, honestly, just to like make things sound more energetic. Super powerful. If you turn everything off though, this is how it sounds. And that's minus here, let me show where it's from. The oversampled Sound Chest Legendary Edition. Their ambient content over here. This one. So first, right off the bat, you can tell I lowered it one semitone. I threw on an EQ, taking out the lows, and then also raising the sides and lowering the mids so it can kind of feel more on the sides than the mid. And I don't mean mid as in mid frequencies, I mean mid as in like mid-side EQ. Basically the sides are what you hear on your left and right, and then the mids are what you hear like in the mono, like right in the middle. Yeah. Then I threw on focus 1 and raised, I think not the focus. I raised the drive, the widen, and the pulse. So it like pulses, like kind of like a stutter effect. And then The drive just makes it louder, honestly. And then widen just makes it a little bit wider. Yeah. And then I took out some of the highs just so it's not piercing. Yeah. Then I put a LA2A compressor from UAD. Just to raise the volume a little more. Very good compressor to raise volume for stuff. I use it on almost anything except basses and drums. Then another low cut, because sometimes plugins can bring in low frequencies just from existing. So like compressors and stuff like that. So in this one, so I just low cut again. And then here's a side chain to the kick. And then finally the Simplon, which is this is for automation. This is just for automation. So like over here, when there's a fill, a drum fill, it goes high. Oh, let me do that. The automation goes high and then back to it. So I'll show over here. If you heard it, it goes high. Like that. But yeah, that's this sound. Yeah, let's go on. And then there's these ARPs over here. Yeah, these ones, which it's combined sound of here, I'll turn off all of the plugins. Here's this one. This is actually that analog sound, the same one used for the bass. Because I remember I was looking for ARPs, and then I found this one and I wanted it. But then also I heard that it sounded really good as a bass, so I used it as a bass as well. So that's that one. And then there's this one. Which this is from Rob Late preset pack. He makes very good sounds as well. Yeah, then them together. Then there's a Pro Q on it, cutting out the lows, a Focus 1, giving it a little bit of focus and drive, which once again, the focus just does more on the mid-highs and the mids. Then I put thermal on width and heat preset and just raised some of the drive and just this kind of just makes the mids and the mid-highs grittier. Then a DST, kind of taming the highs and then just a little bit more on the mid-highs. I put a Haas pan, spelled Haas, which basically you can see the 3 bands. It takes the mid frequencies and moves them left to right like really fast, while the highs and the lows are not, and it just makes this cool effect. Sounds like almost like broken. It sounds really cool. And then I just have it moving left to right, and I put the mix at 10%, so you just hear it kind of like have motion. Both of those just add it a little bit of motion, which sounds cool. Once again, I have a LA2A just to raise the volume and to tame the volume. And then another low cut from all the plugins that are there. Then the sidechain to the kick, and then Simplon for once again those fills, making it go super high at the fill. Yeah, so there's that. And then over here we have these leads. Yeah, which that one's a mix of this pad, cello vocal. In here, I'll turn off all the sounds. which sounds pretty cool. And then this pad over here, both very interesting sounds. Then they both have an LA2A on themselves just to raise their volume. But then I put a shaper box on their bus. And I made a triangle shape, and this is kind of like a volume shaper. So it makes it have that kind of like sharp stutter. Yeah. Then focus one for the for raising its volume with the drive, and then also just a little bit of focus just to get the mids a little bit stronger. Yeah. Then I gave it a little bit of chorus just to give it some width, and also just to make it sound a little bit more cyberpunk and like synthwave. Just having like chorus just makes it sound more electronic. I was taming the highs just so it can sound a little bit cleaner up there and not like very much like piercing. And then I also have this. Just once again to tame the mid highs. And then LA2A for more volume, another low cut, and also cutting these on the mid highs. I really just wanted the mid highs to not sound too sharp. Then the side chain to the kick, and once again Simplon for editing or for the fills. Yeah, very good sounds. Then over here I have these two chords that are playing. Which I'll turn off everything. Yeah, so first there's this chord flicker, which I believe is from an oversampled his Portify serum pack. Sounds like this. And you can see the LFO here is already making a sidechain. It's an LFO connected to the all 4 amps, the volumes of each unit. The first oscillator, second oscillator, the sub oscillator, and then the noise. But yeah, there's that one. And then there's the wide open, which is also from the same pack. This one doesn't have that LFO, but either way it doesn't matter because I have my own sidechain that's affecting both of them, so they still sound good together. Once again, cutting the lows. Put focus 1 to added a tiny bit of focus, but not too much, honestly, and just a little bit of drive, and then made them pulse a lot with the using focus 1. So it sounds like this. Yeah. Then I use this, the width and heat, just to give it more grit. Yeah, and then DST kind of tamed the highs from that grit that the thermal was giving. Which I don't know if I said, thermals from output. They have their plugin output and portal are extremely good for sound design. Very, very good. And their presets are just absolutely amazing. But yeah, so I tamed the highs with that. Then once again, I tamed the highs one more time here. And then, oh, I didn't use the shaper box, right? That was off. And then the side chain to the kick. Yeah. And then, before I get to the effects, last instrument I used was this one, which this is just a shout. Which, yeah, I'll turn off all the effects real quick. And this is from, if I remember correctly, Evolution Devastator Warzone. Once again, from the Evolution Devastator plugins. This is their Wild Screams one-shots too. But yeah, there's a bunch of Wild Screams here that sound really good. It started with, I believe, this delay and this delay. I'll turn off all of them so you can just hear what it sounds like normal. I'll just loop this. Yeah, and here's, there's right there. It shows you the audio waveform, which is cool. But I started with these two, which this one is, it had a different, it was set to a different, I think it was like 1/8 dot, but I just put it to 1/8. And let me turn it off. Yeah, you can hear it like delay. And then also this diffusion one is almost like a reverb type of delay. Makes it more spacious. And then I also have a 1/4 one. So like here. And that one I set to ping pong. So like it's like you hear the delay on the left and then the right, and then also this delay is adding an extra one on each one. So it's like cool. Like you hear like 2 on the left, 2 on the right, and it goes like that. So the delays sound really good like that. Then I added a Pro Q to take out the lows, and there was a lot of lows in it that I just didn't need. Here all, like here, without, but then with. So you can see I took out a lot. I just needed that one main peak right here, because that's like what really is present in the track. The rest of it is just like just blown out by all the rest of the sounds. You can't hear them. Then I put a chorus just to once again put it in the EDM world, the electronic world, Cyberpunk world. Gave it width and just made this the dry, wet to middle to half and half. Then finally added thermal, which once again I did the width and heat. I did the width and heat preset for a lot of these, just because like I really wanted that grit feel. Yeah, there's that. Then the effects. There is lots of I mean there's a decent amount of effects. It's not a crazy amount. Here's them all. So they're doing stuff like this. I'll also add the fills. I think those are counts as effects. Yeah. And then the fills over here. Yeah. And then this fill over here. Yeah. Sound really, really good. First the fills. This one I just put this saturator just to raise the volume of it. And then over here, this fill, I think I did the, oh no, I didn't do the same thing. It was just a good volume. Yeah. Then these effects, once again, a lot of them either from the oversampled Ultimate Future Bass bundle or the Dave Parkinson Trance Essentials, and also some Kashmir. But let me, so here's this one from Dave Parkinson. Once again, taking out the lows. Then this faller from oversampled, right here. Then another one from oversampled. It's always good to just layer a bunch of them because like they, like only just having one effect or two effects, it can sound still like empty and not like not energetic enough. Like honestly, I probably could have even like added more here. So I always take the time to just add a bunch and then like start placing them around and just play around with it. Give the effects time because effects are very, very important to make your track sound full and energetic. Yeah. Then there's this impact, which I took out the lows in this one because I wanted the bassist to really take over. But a lot of times I wouldn't take out the lows and just allow you to hear the full effect, which is this. But yeah, there's that. There's also this sweep over here. Yeah. And then these two short Kashmir sweeps. Yeah, very solid sounds and effects. And also during these fills, I have automation for all of the different sounds to like sound basically lose all of their main frequencies just so that you can hear the fill very clear. So here, I'll play that over here and like show you. So as you heard, like everything went silent basically, and then you just heard the fill. Same thing over here. Yeah. Yeah. Once again, fills are very important to keep energy in your track and not let it be static, but be more dynamic. Finally, there is this little outro that I made during the video, which is fun. Is these two sounds, the analog bass and the guitar. And you can tell there's automation going on there. For this, the bass over here. First off, the lows. Then also, I have this, which one was it? Macro 1, the filter is... sometimes you just gotta test out your macros because like they can sound really, really cool. But yeah, the filter is being moved kind of upwards. It's modulating or automating the filter cutoff over here. As you can see right here, this is the one it's doing. But then there's this bass, the guitar, which I think it's just the low cut. And then over here you see the sidechain goes away. It's automated to leave. And I don't think these ones get automated either. Yeah. So it kind of just ends like that. Yeah. So there's the track. Yeah, this one was a really fun one to make. And when I was making it, I even like mentioned it in the video. I wasn't feeling too inspired that day, but I just started recording and just making it, and like, even if the idea doesn't sound great at the beginning, honestly, just keep on going. Like if you see, like if you just listen to it, know that, okay, I can add this real quick. I can edit this. Just keep on doing those one little edits and keep on going. I can add this. I can throw this in, put this audio effect, throw this instrument. And honestly, as you're doing that, you might just start gaining the inspiration you needed, and then you're able to make something cool. But yeah, anyway, that was this track. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and if you haven't already, I recommend just watching the video of me making it. I'll see y'all in the next one.